Verbano Biosphere Reserve. For sure, Shouf Biosphere Reserve in Lebanon and Ticino Biosphere Reserve in Italy. Please join me to welcome Her Excellency Nicoletta Bombardier, Ambassador of Italy in Lebanon. Always we're happy that you are with us and with the full support that you are providing always. Her Excellency Mira Daher, Ambassador of Lebanon in Italy as well. We are very happy, Your Excellency, that you joined us today. Madame Nora Jumblat, Shouf Biosphere Reserve Board Member and a founder of the Shouf Biosphere Reserve together with Mr. Jumblat. Madame Jumblat, you are most welcome as well. Mrs. Donatella Processi, Italian Agency for Development and Cooperation Regional Office in Lebanon, and her team, Liana Dietmar, and all the team, our presidents in the two parks and the board members of the two parks, our respectful mayors and municipalities who joined us today. As well as we would like to welcome Professor Ghassan Jaradi from the Secretary General of the Man and Biosphere Reserve National Committee in Lebanon, and Professor Pierre Luigi Petrillo, the President of the Man and Biosphere Reserve Technical Committee, National Technical Committee in Italy. We have Madame Lara Smeha, Mrs. Lara Smeha from the Ministry of Environment in Lebanon, Mrs. Elsa Satout from the UNESCO Regional Office in Egypt, Mr. Ziad Samaha from the IUCN Regional Office, our partner, OICOS President and team, our colleagues at the Ticino Park, team members and partners and board members. So our agenda, as you know, it's an online event. We have to keep it less than 1 hour. We don't want to have it a very long event. So our agenda will include 4 quick sections, not long sections. We will start with welcome speeches from the both parks, presidents and board members of both parks. We will have a quick presentations about the parks, 1-minute movie about each park. Our colleague from OICOS Institute will present for us the story about this partnership. It started with a study tour in November 2019. After that, we have 4 valuable speeches from 4 valuable guests, Her Excellencies, Madame Jumblat and Mrs. Donatella from the Italian Corporation. And at the end, we will open like 5-10 minutes, quick discussion if anyone has any additional intervention to say. We have some people from media, our always partner, Ghadi News and other media representatives as well. I would like to welcome you all today in our online ceremony. Starting with first part of our ceremony, we will start with a quick speech from our president, Mr. Charles Nugent. Thank you, Mr. Charles. I would like to ask you all if you can mute your microphones to avoid any unexpected noise. The second welcome speech, we know that Ticino Park is a big park, including 2 national parks and 2 regional parks. The welcome speech of Ticino Park will be presented by the president of the Parco Lombardo del Cino, Mrs. Cristina Chiappa, as well as by Mr. Giovanni Brogin and by Mrs. Erika Valera. But as we agreed, it will not take so long. It's like less than 5 minutes welcome speech. Please, Mrs. Cristina, go ahead.
Good morning. Thank you very much for being here with us today. My name is Cristina Chiappa, and I'm the president of Parco Lombardo della Valle del Ticino, the authority in charge of the management of the Ticino Val Grande Verbano Biosphere Reserve, together with the integrazione delle del Lago Maggiore, del Parco Nazionale della Val Grande e il Parco Regionale Campo dei Fiori. I am very pleased to welcome here all the speakers and guests from our two countries for the launching event of the Declaration of Partnership between our biosphere reserves. I'm sorry we can't meet in person right now, but I'm glad that digital technologies allow us to hold this meeting that hopefully will represent the beginning of a fruitful cooperation and the topics that are important to both for us. I would like to thank and acknowledge all the delegates and the support team who contributed to the achievement of this agreement, giving us the opportunity to get to know each other better and to promote cooperative activities in fields of mutual interest. I don't want to take too much of time, so I give the floor to Mr. Giovanni Brogin, board member of our park and delegate for our Biosphere Reserve matters. Thank you.
Halan was Halan, which should mean welcome, I hope. Very good morning to all present here, and thank you for joining us at the online signing ceremony of declaration of intent between our two biosphere reserves. First of all, I would like to greet Their Excellence Ms. Mira Dyer, Ambassador of Lebanon in Italy, and Ms. Nicoletta Bombardiere, Ambassador of Italy in Lebanon, and all of the distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, who honor us with their presence. This meeting is very significant for us for many reasons. Both our institutions were born to preserve our environment and landscape, and part of our work and responsibility lies in the need to transmit these values to future generations. For these reasons, education and awareness-raising activities must be necessary to core this future collaboration. Among all the activities that may emerge from this agreement, I am also particularly fond to those concerning the management and care of the territory and promotion of local products. As once Khalil Gibran wrote, civilization commences when men first dig the earth and shoot seeds. Similarly, both our cultures and identities find a fundamental cornerstone in the agricultural practices, in the loving care and of the land and the nurturing and local production. Based on this, our partnership surely includes the best premises and can centrally provide an optimal framework for exchanging good practice and learning from each other. I am particularly pleased to point out that this collaboration began with a journey, a study tour to Italy, which allowed to meet and exchange experiences. What better start, given that the journey in the metaphor par excellence of many experience of growth, acquisition of knowledge and learning. In conclusion, let me say that in this time when freedom to travel is limited, our greatest wish is that we can soon get back to learning through real and not virtual experience, and to grow in the only possible way by forging real and lasting links with people and places. May this declaration of partnership be the beginning of a true learning path together. Thank you very much for listening, and have a fruitful prosecution of the event. I give the floor to Ms. Erika Valera, the Vice President of Ente di Gestione delle Aree Protette del Ticino e del Lago Maggiore, who share with us the honor and responsibility of managing our biosphere reserve.
Okay. Thank you. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for the opportunity today. Our institution manages part of the territory of Ticino Val Grande Verbano Biosphere Reserve, and we are also part of the executive committee of the reserve, pursuing the goals of Agenda 2030. Today's ceremony occurs exactly on the World Climate Action Day dedicated to future generations. Another reason to leave this event with joy and pride, hoping that our election will become increasingly solid, laying the foundation for a strong and lasting exchange relationship with your community, who already share with us the approach to several common themes. Among these, the development and implementation of an action plan for climate change, the protection of biodiversity, the strengthening of our management abilities. This agreement may give rise to numerous opportunities for activities to be launched together. Training action, dissemination initiatives on sustainable agriculture and on cementation reduction, on deforestation or contamination of water source. Surely, we can start confronting models of best practice about the recovery of wet environments, environmental education, and youth involvement activities. In this regard, the MAB Youth Group of our reserve has just been formed with activities dedicated to raising ethical awareness. We strongly believe in this collaboration and are committed to ensuring that it continues to grow, also by requesting funding for new projects and joint initiatives. Have a nice day, and I wish good work to all.
Thank you, Mrs. Valera, Mr. Bogin, and Mrs. Chiappa. And thank you for mentioning all these details, which is including the main topics that hopefully we will work together in the near future. Now we move to Mrs. Rossella Rossi, President of the Oikos Institute. First, Rossella, we miss you in Lebanon, and the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. It's a great honor for Oikos to be part of this declaration of partnership, very important. I mean, our role was just the role of facilitators, as we are, I would say, friends of the two signatory organizations. We did a lot of work with Ticino Lombardy Park since 1996, more than 20 years, 25 years ago. And we had other experiences like this in between agreement between Ticino and Tanzania national parks and cultural exchange visits. So it's a long story. And it's a bit shorter story, but very intense, the story with the Shouf Reserve that started in 2016 with the, when we were called as a technical advisor for the introduction of Nubian ibex. So it's an honor for us, and a special thanks to our Italian government, the Italian ambassador, and the ICE Lebanon, I would say, that supported this study tour that was led by Filippo Zibordi, member of OICOS, that laid the basis for the two-day agreements. And the last consideration, inspiring and encouraging, we are giving a contribution to the Sustainable Development Goal 17, that is strengthening of global partnership, that we know that is getting worse in the last years, during probably also due to the pandemic. So we are doing something particularly important, and I take this opportunity to wish to all of you a great work and a great contribution to sustainable development. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rossella. Very interesting. The Shouf Biosphere Reserve learned a lot from Italy in the partnership with OICOS and the partnership before with Abruzzo National Park. And for sure, all this work started through the Italian Cooperation Office in Lebanon. Now we will move to our second part of the ceremony. We will see two short movies, 1 minute movie about each park. And Mr. Claudio Di Paola, director of Parco Lombardo del Ticino, will talk a little bit about the Ticino Park and the characteristics of this park. And our colleague Filippo Zibordi will present for us a little bit about the study tour that has been happened in 2019, which is led for this partnership and for this cooperation that we are celebrating today. We will start with 1 minute video about the Ticino Biosphere Reserve. Proud to share. Go ahead.
تيتشينو أول شيء.
ايه تيتشينو أول شيء.
تيتشينو هن مش نحن بس
بدنا نبلش نحن بتيتشينو.
هن حيعرضوا.
بس ما عرضوا.
خلص حطوا عندك حطوا. عندك صوت عندك رجال.
بس ما عم نشوف نحن.
ما عم نسمع.
So not sure if we were able to hear the music. Both TVC just they had music. There is no talks in it. Now we will move to Mr. Claudio Di Paola. Go ahead. Floor is yours.
Hello to everybody. Thanks for the opportunity to be here. And let me introduce you shortly our Ticino Val Grande Verbano Biosphere Reserve. First of all, I would like to say that our reserve is located in one of the most densely populated and productive areas in Italy, in the northern part of Italy. But nevertheless, we enclose a very interesting mosaic of natural ecosystem resources. And we had a long story about this experience, started in 2002 with the designation of Ticino Valley Biosphere Reserve, and then in 2018, the UNESCO recognized the actual Ticino Val Grande Verbano Reserve, which include 4 parks, 3 World Heritage UNESCO sites, 19 protected areas distributed in 2 regions, Lombardy and Piedmont, and the total area of approximately 303,002 hectares. We have 19 biosphere reserves in Italy, and we are based along the Maggiore Lake and Ticino River, from the border from Switzerland to Po River. We include 4 pillars in the development of our reserve, and these 4 pillars are the 4 natural parks, 2 parks of Ticino, one in Piedmont and another one in Lombardy, the national park of Val Grande, and the regional park of Campo dei Fiori. These images represent a bit the entire territory. The man component is very important. We have more than 1 million inhabitants living in our reserve, and we are trying, thanks to a long job from natural parks, but not only for that, to combine the opportunities to live, to work, to produce, and to grow with the maintenance and all the necessity in biodiversity protection. Well, landscapes are very different because we start from the alpine area and we go across the Maggiore Lake, then the Prealpi Alps, and then the Ticino River Valley with the agricultural plain as a buffer zone. Well, biodiversity is very important. As I said just before, I would like only to underline that we have 48 sites of Natura 2000 network, including, and other special protected areas. I don't want to give you too much details in that, but we can give you the presentation anyway. Well, our mission in the resource management are based on preservation, especially about biodiversity protection and sustainable use of the resources. Is based on development, so we want to encourage the environmental friendly development models, departing from agricultural land, but not only about that. And we are trying to disseminate, to promote the participation of the municipalities and through them to all the people living in the reserve. The activities are based on environmental education in agreements with schools and universities with special programs about that. We are trying to move to the sustainable production and to sustain all that realities who want to be oriented in this direction. And also absolutely the sustainable tourism, because we are in an area very interesting, very attractive for tourism. Well, we are based our experience in any good practices about, first of all, planning. For us is very important for the experience of the parks to have a good plan, which is fundamental to reduce the land consumption, to warranty the landscape protection and the restoration of the territory. I would like only to add that the agricultural sector is important in all this way, because agriculture links from fork to farm and in the opposite way. And also about the protection of native wildlife species or the control of alien species, of the sense of ornamental trees, reforestation. Well, are a lot of activities based on parks, but we are trying to export also to the other part of the reserve all these opportunities to move toward sustainable. Well, the cooperation and sponsorship for local projects are absolutely fundamental for us. So also to share experience and good practices. We believe that we have common features between our two biosphere reserves. We are based on small-scale human settlements. We have relevant wetland areas important for bird life and historical, architectural and archaeological heritage, or activities in landscape maintenance and improvement, and in preservation of traditional agricultural practices. So I mean that today will be the first step of an interesting and productive cooperation between us. So thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Paolo. Now we will move to the presentation of Filippo about the study tour, showing us the main activities that happened and the main sites that the team visited during the study tour in November 2019. Please, Filippo, go ahead.
Nisa, do you want to introduce the first two slides?
Very quickly. If we move to the other slide, Filippo, the Shouf Biosphere Reserve is a mountainous protected area, including 30% of the remaining cedar forest in Lebanon. It's smaller than Ticino Biosphere Reserve. It's 50,000 hectares. It is covering 5% of the Lebanese territory. It is designated as a UNESCO Biosphere Reserve in 2005 and designated as a nature reserve following the Lebanese law under the Ministry of Environment, and it is part of a network of protected areas. Now we have in Lebanon 18 protected areas. It is one of the largest protected areas in Lebanon and the southern side of the Mediterranean. The Biosphere Reserve listed on the green list of by IUCN in 2018. Lately, the reserve is well known as a good example of forest and landscape restoration, trying to integrate the three different zones, the core, the buffer, and the development zones, with full integration of this landscape, looking at the landscape as one unit, involving the different communities, the different sectors in the region to be more environmental friendly. Lately, We did a lot of work regarding sustainable agriculture. As Mr. Paolo mentioned, tourism is an important sector. In the surrounding area of the reserve, we have a network of 500 kilometers with many service providers, guest houses, small hotels, table dot, and so on. With the new challenges, mainly the COVID-19, too many people visited the region, mainly the villages in the surrounding area of the reserve, because all the facilities are small facilities and receive small number of visitors. The reserve receive on annual basis around 120,000 visitors coming mainly from Lebanon, and 10-15% of our visitors coming from all over the world. Together with the other protected areas in Lebanon, we are trying to provide an effective, good management models of protected areas. Hopefully, soon we will be able to receive all of you here in Lebanon and to show you the different initiatives and the different programs that we are working to sustain this protected area on the long term. Filippo, go ahead.
Hello, everybody. So I'm pleased to join. I'm honored to be here to represent what, in my imagination, is the symbolic starting point of all this initiative. So I get back to the presentation. So as I said before, in August 2019, the Italian Agency for the Development Beirut office started an initiative which is called Better Management for the Shouf Biosphere Reserve Buffer and Development Zones, which was implemented together with Al Shouf Cedar Society. And this initiative foresaw the exchange of experience with Italy, with Italian protected areas, and the organization of awareness-raising sessions. Regarding the first axis, Istituto Oikos won the tender, and so was in charge of organizing the visit, which actually took place in November 2019, and I was honored to be the host of this delegation, which was composed by 8 staff of Al Shouf Cedar Society, coming from different sectors of the reserve, so both from the administration and communication office, but also coming from the awareness raising and visitor center staff. The visit started from Parco del Ticino, Lombardy, which has already been explained very well by the director. So it is a riverine protected area. And our interest was specifically within the ex-Dogana Visitor Center, which is not just a visitor center, but it's also an initiative, a shop, which allows to sell products from Parco Ticino Agricultural Producer Consortium and from Parco Ticino Controlled Label, which is something which is also happening in Lebanon in the Shouf Biosphere Reserve. In the next days, we visited the dam of Pan Perduto, which is a challenge for river conservation, but also an opportunity for ecotourism. And then we very quickly moved to the Alps, where we visited another Lombardy regional park, which is Adamello Park. And so we had the opportunity to share the views of the organization of environmental education. And then we moved to Trentino and we visited a nation park, Stelvio National Park, where there was the possibility of both visiting the new visitor centers, but also to get acquainted to the monitoring techniques that one of the most ancient protected area of Italy is putting in place for wildlife conservation and monitoring. Finally, in the last day, we had a final stop in Adamello Brenta Park, which is a province park. It is also a UNESCO recognized not biosphere, but a geopark for its excellence in the geological phenomena. All in all, the study tour so allowed the team to be introduced to different kind of governance of protected areas in Italy. So as I said, national parks, but also regional and province park, to see the awareness, education, and visitor center activities, which are carried out both in plain parks and alpine parks, and to get an insight into the monitoring techniques and data collection for wildlife conservation. So there was I hope there was the opportunity to get an insight into the different approaches to conservation, but also in the promotion of the natural heritage. And hopefully this gave to our Lebanese colleague ideas for the development model that Lebanon wants to achieve in the future. For sure, I'm proud to say that this visit put the first step for the signature, for the approval of the declaration of intent between the Shouf Biosphere Reserve and MAB Ticino Val Grande Verbano Reserve, which, as was said before and will be explained better by people talking after me, foresees the exchange of information, of staff, and any other form of cooperative activities between the two protected areas. This is all for me. Please, Nizar, go ahead.
Thank you, Filippo. Thank you for all the speakers in the first session and in this second session. Thank you, Mr. Claudio. And as well, I would like to thank Oriana, Sarah, and Ala for the organization of this ceremony. Now we will move to the third part of this ceremony, and we are expecting another 15 minutes to close this event. We will start with a speech from Mr. Donatella Processi, Manager of Italian Agency for Development and Cooperation. The whole story of cooperation with Italy started with the Italian Cooperation Office in Beirut in 2008. Now we have many partners in Italy. We have many colleagues that we learned a lot since that time from their experience and from their expertise. Please, floor is yours, Mrs. Donatella.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here today for the launch of this cooperation between the Shouf Biosphere Reserve and the Biosphere Reserve Ticino Val Grande. So the first step of this partnership have been established during a study visit of a Lebanese delegation to Italy in the frame of the project that we were financing, implementing by ICE. Since the beginning of this cooperation, we supported all these environmental projects with an amount of almost 3 million euros. In this regard, several partnerships have been established over the years with entities very important in Italy, the Abruzzo National Park, the Federparchi, and now we also have this important partnership. We are very proud of the result achieved, and we really want to be able to support, even in the years to come, Shouf Reserve. Last but not least, I would like to thank all the participation of all the people, the partnership of this important project. And I'm very happy that this agreement is signing today, and we will follow up with you the progress of all the achievement. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Donatella. For sure, we need a long time to talk about the different activities that Italian Cooperation Office of Beirut implemented together with the Shouf Biosphere Reserve and the whole Shouf area. Now we move to the speech of Madame Nora Jumblat. Madame Nora Jumblat is our main supporter. He's supporting the reserve on daily basis. She's supporting us on the technical level in promoting this experience in the whole country as well as outside this country. Madame Jumblat, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Nizar. Hello, everyone. As our president, Mr. Shan James, stated earlier, I'm not sure if he was heard, but I would just like to say we are very honored and pleased to welcome you today to celebrate this new partnership that the Shouf Biosphere is launching. A warm welcome to your excellencies, Mrs. Nicoletta Bombardieri, Ambassador of Italy to Lebanon, and a friend, Mrs. Mira Daher, Ambassador of Lebanon to Italy. Also, a warm welcome to all our guests, representatives of the Italian Agency for Development and Cooperation in Beirut, the UNESCO MAB representatives, of course, our longtime partners from Institute Oikos and its president, Mrs. Rossi, and last but not least, our very new partners, Parco Lombardo della Valle del Ticino and its president, Mrs. Cristina Acchiappa. Let me just say that after the lockdown, the world was happy to point out a significant drop in carbon emissions. And yet the efforts to overcome the pandemic were accompanied by a surge of plastic waste, which means that things are not on the right track. And that our wildlife, and we have noticed that our wildlife and nature are at risk and not safe, and that we have more efforts to exert and more battles to win to expand the ecosystem's protection. These problems and challenges are universal, and everybody knows it, and attempts to overcome them have to involve all stakeholders from all over the world. Therefore, our partnership today is a fine example of how we should work together and proceed. With our colleagues from the Parco Lombardo della Valle del Ticino, we will collaborate, exchange visits and knowledge and information, learn from each other with the aim of making a difference, I hope, and contributing to finding solutions to the problems we're all facing in a fast changing world. Let us just not forget that Earth is what we all have in common, and hence our common responsibility. I reiterate our director Nizar's invitation to Lebanon. We would have wished to have you here with us today. I hope it will happen in the future. Mabruk, congratulations to us all. We look forward to a very successful partnership. Thank you. Thank you.
Despite the current situation, this week we have two Italian experts visiting us for a very quick visit. They arrived on Monday and they will leave this evening. In addition to another two colleagues are based here through the common cooperation with the Oikos Institute and through different projects supported by Italian Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Italian Cooperation Office in Beirut. Now we move to the speech of Her Excellency Mira Daher, Ambassador of Lebanon in Italy. Your Excellency, hopefully when you come back to Lebanon to visit us as well. Go ahead.
For sure. I know it very well because this is one of the best places we have in Lebanon. So I would like to start by thanking everyone who has been working so hard to make this event happen, and in particular to the president of the Parco Lombardo della Valle del Ticino Val Grande Verbano Biosphere
Your
Reserve.
Excellency, if you allow, your camera is a little bit high.
Like this?
Yeah, it's better. Go ahead.
And all of our collaborators, and surely our dearest Italian ambassador to Lebanon, Her Excellency Nicoletta Bombardieri, and for everything she's doing with us, as well as to Mrs. Nora Jumblat, to whom I am a personal witness to all the miracles she and Walid Bek were able to do to the Shouf region, and by making it a little paradise and an oasis in Lebanon for the time being, and to all her collaborators in the Shouf Biosphere Reserve. So I'm very happy to be able to be with you all on this very important occasion, rendered possible by the Zoom, thanks to the Zoom now. In these extremely difficult moments the whole world is going through due to the COVID-19, men realize that nature is their only ally, and preserving it is the only option for humankind to last. I think that the importance of the bees is the best example for our survival, which totally depend on them. The cedars of Lebanon symbolizes this resilience, immortality, strength, and elevation, attributes so much needed in our life after the COVID-19 pandemic, and mainly present in the Shouf Reserve. By reviving the cooperation project, building bridges with nature gives us a hope for a new dawn that we all look for to enjoy a new start by taking care of the nature that humankind neglected for such a long time. How having two natural treasures such as the Ticino and Shouf parks in Italy and Lebanon can only be a glorifying homage to the creator who decided to bless our two countries with two magic lands filled with a biodiversity and particular species that are unique in the world. You choosing the biosphere concept as a tool to describe the parks is a proof of your visions to help rebuilding the new ecosystem based on that principles that the whole world shall rebuild along with the sustainable development goals to be reached in 2030. Preserving the species and lives which are so unique to each park, enriching thus the natural life, prove that man has to respect the specificity of nature and has to preserve it. Having the opportunity to embed a new pillar in support of the historic cooperation between Lebanon and Italy is one step further in the collaboration that has been lasting for thousands of years, if we can go back to the Phoenicians and before. Do you know that the majestic ships used by the Phoenicians to sail the waters of the Mediterranean were made of the precious wood of the cedars of Lebanon, our national symbol, jealously guarded in the Shouf Reserve? The unique beauty of these two parks is not the only thing they have in common. The rich and varied biodiversity which coexists harmoniously with the local communities bordering their boundaries has earned them both the prestigious recognition of exceptional status under the UNESCO, as you said just before, man and biosphere. So this is very important. Taking action today to safeguard the environment is of a fundamental importance to allow our children to live in a better world tomorrow. Today, we take a small step towards a more sustainable future for our future communities and for our future generations. It is a step that begins a long journey, and I am honored to be able to undertake it with you. And I thank each one of you on behalf of the Land of Cedars. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Your Excellency, with this beautiful journey in the history of the cedar of Lebanon. And I encourage everyone to read a wonderful book that the park published a few years ago, which is written by Mr. Faisal Abu Azzeddin, our senior expert, Memoirs of a Cedar Tree, which is going in the history in a simple way of the cedar of Lebanon. At last and not least, Her Excellency Nicoletta Bombardier, Ambassador of Italy in Lebanon and a very close friend to the Shouf Biosphere Reserve. Since her arrival to Lebanon, she didn't exclude any opportunity to support the park, to promote the park in the media, everywhere. Thank you for all your efforts, Your Excellency. The floor is yours.
Dear Nizar, you give me a big responsibility now. Well, I've heard so many nice things and words, and I'm seeing so many friendly faces. Though behind the screen, I see many friends and I see many partners, and I want really to greet you all. The Italian partners, whom I didn't really have the opportunity to meet in presence, but I really joined the invitation to come here soon. And I want to, and I see and I greet with all my affection Nora Jumblat, and you are a great friend and a great partner, and my dear friend, my counterpart, and Mira Daer in Rome, and Nizar, and you are the soul and the protagonist of this section. I don't want really to go through all the story of this successful friendship and cooperation in the environmental field that we have. I just want to pick up some concepts which are very, let's say, very basic in what we do. I mean, Italy and Lebanon share a Mediterranean heritage, which is made of history, is made of culture, and Mira has just reminded us of this. But it's also made of a beauty of lands. So our lands are beautiful, and we share the beauty of our lands as well as the fragility of our lands. And we share, and we picked up, I have to say very promptly, both of our countries, this common interest in preserving this rich biodiversity, and this, which is our natural heritage, together with our cultural one. And this is really at the base, at the very soul of this partnership. The second concept is that what we are talking about is a partnership, and it's not an assistance, it's a partnership. Meaning we have been developing this pattern of exchanging experiences and expertise, learning from one another. I mean, we are learning from you and you are learning from us. So, and this is, I think, really the second feature of this very special partnership that we have. The third thing that I want to say is that I'm going quite a lot around Lebanon. I'm visiting really many beautiful places, but among the many beautiful places that I'm visiting, really the biosphere Shouf Reserve remains, and I want to say this and share this with you, remains really the top. It is a jewel, and it is something, and I told you this since the very first time I visited you, I would like this to be replicated, to be imitated, to be taken as a model for other regions in this beautiful land, but which are still far from your pattern. So this first project has really the potential to become something which should be the direction to which other reserves, other parks in in Lebanon should aim to. It should be a model. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm very convinced of this, and I will definitely keep this very high in my agenda. Last but not least, this year is the G20 Italian presidency, which is based on 3 Ps, which is people, planet, and prosperity. And I see the 3 Ps very much also at the core and at the essence of this beautiful partnership that we have. And with this, really, I want to express all my gratitude to all the partners, the Italian ones and the Lebanese ones. And I have to say I'm very proud of this, and I want to share this pride with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Everyone is very happy in this room, and thanking you. Really, I would like, in your name, in the name of Her Excellency Mira Daher, in the name of Mr. Charles, in the name of Madame Jumblat, to welcome the Ticino partners into this dedicated team. You call it to protect the fragility, and I agree totally. We need to protect this fragility of our rich Mediterranean region. Together with our partner Oikos, we're working since a very long time, hardly, with a huge team. Some of them are surrounding me, really to protect this heritage and to keep this beauty and this biodiversity and those needs for the future generation. So at the end, I would like to give the opportunity for some of the colleagues who are attending today, if they have any quick testimonial, intervention, whatever, for another 5 minutes. And we need to take a photo, all of us together, and wishing all of you a good day and looking to meet soon, hopefully in Lebanon as well as in Italy. So anyone has anything to add? I can see Ziad on the screen here. So yes, we have Ziad Samaha from IUCN Regional Office. Yes, Ziad, go ahead. Ziad, we are not able to hear you. Yeah, you have to unmute yourself, Ziad. نحن بدنا نعمل له unmute. Maybe Oriana, Ziad needs some help.
Okay, now it's fine. Good morning, everyone. Okay, because I was muted by the organizer. Thank you for unmuting me. Just a quick note. I'm not going to add up on everybody's excellent contribution, but it's really good to see, and we're really happy and proud as IUCN, because as Nizar mentioned, 3 years ago, this park not only listed, but was accepted based on the criteria that the team and the whole park has met. So there's a difference. That's the only thing I want to highlight. It's not listed. We did not list them, but they passed through a very rigorous kind of examination and assessment by an independent committee, where the Shouf Cedars Park has received this accreditation by IUCN. And that's really a step forward. And that's actually some sort of the highest recognition for protected areas in their management effectiveness. And I would also like to add that I wish to see this becoming kind of a snowball or a positive jealousy that would bring other protected areas in Lebanon and in the region to achieve at least this level or become candidate, or at least apply and become candidates for Green List. Today, as a Lebanese, aside from being an IUCN staff, as a Lebanese, we are always proud, and sometimes we always receive comments from other protected areas telling us, oh, you always bring your marine visitors, because I work mostly on the marine part, to Shouf. Why don't you bring them over? All other protected areas are really nice. There's a lot of fascinating forest and biodiversity. But when we bring them over, it's not just to see the park, but to see what the staff are doing, how successfully they move things forward, how they are working with different people in the surrounding villages, how they are really bringing people together, and how they are really involving the community. Protected areas are not just to protect key biodiversity areas or important plant areas or important bird areas, but it's also to include the human factor to secure long-term livelihood support. Sorry if I went too long, but this is the only thing that we see with one protected area in Lebanon that makes us all proud. And we're definitely happy to see all other protected areas move forward to this level or even exceed. We would also be happy if other protected areas would even move forward and meet and exceed what the Shouf has set as standards. Thanks a lot, and good luck for this opportunity, and keep on going further. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Ziad. Thank you, everyone. Still has any very quick intervention before we close this event? I think we're all thankful for your presence, for really the hard work for both teams, for Oikos team to achieve this partnership. This is the beginning, hopefully to be able really to do common activities, common projects together with Ticino Park, as well as with Abruzzo National Park, and for sure with the other protected areas in Lebanon. Italian Cooperation Office right now is dedicating another big project to support all the protected areas in Lebanon under the umbrella of the Ministry of Environment. And hopefully, as Ziad said, the whole network of protected areas in Lebanon, in Italy, in the Mediterranean region to be more and more effective, to be able to protect the richness of our biodiversity and cultural and natural heritage. Thank you all for this time. We're 8 minutes behind the schedule. Sorry for that. And hopefully to meet soon, as I said before, in Lebanon as well as in Italy. Thank you. Your Excellency, thank you.
Bye-bye. I think we're leaving now.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye-bye, and thank you very much to everybody.
Better. See you soon.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
You wanted to take the photo?
Yeah.
Foto?
Rimaniamo solo noi.
Lo stesso.
Ma devono uscire tutti.